Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been ordered by an Abuja Federal High Court not to stop voter registration by the end of this month. Following the hearing of a motion ex parte by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, Justice Mobolaji Olajunwo of Court 10 yesterday issued an order of temporary injunction. Early this month, the group filed a lawsuit against INEC through its attorneys Kolawole Oluwadare and Opeyemi Owolabi, asking the court to declare INEC's refusal to extend the voter registration deadline so that eligible Nigerians could exercise their rights unconstitutional, illegal, and incompatible with international standards. And now joining us via Zoom, we have a public affairs analyst, Asiwaju Abayomi rather. Okay. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Don't let me sue you for.
I'm sorry. Apologies for that. I was going to say Asiwaju Bola Tinubu anyway, but then it's Abayomi. All right, thank you. And now straight to it. The INEC, the deadline was supposed to be 30th of June, but now there is a lawsuit asking the Independent National Electoral Commission not to end the voter registration. Is that a step in the right direction?
Okay, I think number one, in all fairness to INEC, they designed their timetable in order for them to have so much time to also commit to some other activities of INEC. In the past, we've always said that our elections, and the reason is not far-fetched. Some other activities usually consume their time, and some of these activities include printing of a voter's card, and of course, issuing out of this voter's card when it is ready, the PVC, to eligible voters. But INEC now decided that, okay, fine, if we can round off issuance or let's say registration of for voters card early enough, we can commit more time to some other pre-election activities. And that is not bad, as the way I see it is not actually bad. But I do not really understand why it is always when a particular exercise is almost rounding off that many Nigerians will now start rushing to get involved in that exercise. You see, all this fire brigade approach, all these late entries, getting to do things when it's almost over, it has become a norm in this country, and I think we need to address it. Fine, setup is right to say, okay, INEC, please extend the deadline for registration and all other activities that has to do with PVC, because we don't want to have a situation whereby a lot of people will to come up with so many conspiracy theories that may.
Hello, are you there?
Okay, well, I think issues with network there, but he talked about INEC having other things to do, like updating the voters register,
issuing the cards,
and issuing the cards and all of that. I would like to really take him on that, because they also have ample time to do that. It's not like they're waiting for the entire thing. That those who have probably collected their PVCs even before this exercise. I mean, if you've had your PVC before, probably from 2015
yes,
or 11 or 19. It's not like you need to get another PVC
but then
sense.
There's also a place of having to transfer from a different state.
States and all, but that's why INEC has states, zonal offices and state offices among others. Now there's hello.
Hello, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes. So you were saying some things. Maybe you should finish up before I ask a few questions.
Okay. So I'm saying that SERAP is not out of place to have challenged INEC, in a lawsuit to extend the deadline, because we don't want to see a situation whereby a lot of Nigerians will claim that they were deliberately disenfranchised from participating in the 2023 general election. So I also share that line of thought that INEC should please extend the deadline. Let it be seen that at least we
Wow, not so good network today.
Network
And
messing up
he's really
really.
making so much sense
Yes,
with that.
you know, the thing again is for INEC, the insistence. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
please. Go on.
So you can wrap up that thought.
All right, so let INEC please give us that deadline so that we can be saying that INEC is fair to all and no one is disenfranchised by their own timetable and activity. Thank you.
Okay, I'm talking about, you know, INEC giving us a deadline. The Electoral Act is clear. Section 9, subsection 6 talks about, you know, the voter registration not more than 90 days for it to be stopped. 90 days is 3 months, going by that. And you look at the initial date of June 30th to February when the general elections will start, you know, from the presidential elections. That's over 8 months, thereabouts. So don't you think that going by the Section 9, subsection 6 of the Electoral Act itself, INEC is just impeding on that section because people still have time. It's not up to 3 months. So people still have time to, you know, go about registration and trying to get their PVCs.
English, my brother, not more than simply means that you can't afford to do it after.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a limit. It's not, I mean, this is just 8 months from the election. It's not 3 months. So it can definitely be extended.
The law permits INEC to stop at any time, even it's their own prerogative to do that. Meanwhile, we must also acknowledge the fact that INEC is short-staffed. That's the truth. And if we should say, oh, Nigeria is rich, let us employ more people to join INEC. Don't forget that our election in Nigeria is outrageously expensive. And it's not just on the part of the political gladiators who participate in the elections, the amount they spend, but even the budget of INEC alone is enough to run this country for 2 years. Go and check it from antecedents. Check 2011, 2015, 2019, and even now. If you check the budget of INEC to conduct election in this country, it's quite expensive. So if we should say they should employ more, they should increase their capacity and increase their reach and all that, it will still attract more funds from the coffers of the federal government. And we keep saying that there is no money to cater for some other social infrastructure out there that people are lacking. So for me, I think we should just understand what INEC is going through. They are short-staffed. They want a situation whereby they will have enough time to take care of some of their issues. I'm not sure that some of these cards are even printed in Nigeria, maybe for safety or security reasons. So, you know, to engage the third-party contractor that would print some of these cards, bring it back, issue it, and lo and behold, remember, the 3 months or 90 days before election is for registration and issuance. So you cannot be issuing voters card close to probably election day. You know, it will also disrupt some of their own activities. At that particular time, they will be working towards receiving non-sensitive materials, preparing for the elections. At the same time, if they will now have to commit workforce or, you know, manpower to registration and issuance again, it will attract more funds.
Can I take you up on this now? You mentioned the fact that INEC is short-staffed. Well, I agree, because we saw elections mainly in Nigeria. We've seen INEC use core members as majorly as INEC officials. Yes, but then if a sector of the government or of Nigeria, which is very important, responsible for electing leaders or putting leaders, is short-staffed, and we're talking about the fact that if they are changed or if they employ more staff, it will tell on the economy, then what are we really talking about? We see INEC is short-staffed, fine. They should get more staff, because we have people who are not even doing so much living on huge budget, extravagant budget. You have the handkerchief allowances, you have the wardrobe allowances, travel allowances that are not really important. I understand the fact that conducting an election is very, very expensive. But if INEC is short-staffed, they should reduce the price. The government should reduce the price of those sectors that do not even need so much money, extravagant expenditures, and put into INEC, because it's very important. So the issue of INEC short-staffed, I do not see it as an excuse or a cogent reason that this should happen, or probably they should now not allow people to register. We understand the fact that Nigerians like the fire brigade approach. Once registered, we don't have people tell us, well, we're not allowed to register, so I couldn't vote. So if INEC is short-staffed, don't you think that other sectors that are spending so much and they don't deserve that money should be put into INEC, because it's really important and integral?
I love the angle you are coming from. You are even speaking like an activist, and I can
I'm a journalist, please.
Meanwhile, I think we should, focus our energy on encouraging people to even participate in the elections. And what do I mean? The show of apathy, towards our election is something that should give us concern. Now, take for example, over 50% of eligible voters in Nigeria actually register, and during election, we usually see less than 25% come out to participate. It is not encouraging enough. And I think we should begin to talk in this direction. We should begin to speak to this, that let Nigerians who have actually registered even come out on election day to vote. You see, the more we participate in election, the better for us. It will give us a sound voice to be able to agitate and ask for things that we should be demanding for. Just like what you are saying, you are making a valid point that election matter is a very serious matter that we should not take lightly. If there is need for us to invest fully into it by voting so much funds, employing staff, so that we can have a robust electoral system or election in Nigeria, it is not out of place. But in a situation whereby we spend so much preparing for an election and only a minute number of eligible voters now come out to participate, it's just like preparing for an Owambe. You have cooked, you have made several dishes, and you are expecting 500 guests, only to see 100 guests. What will happen to the 400 that you have catered for?
I understand where you're coming from. But don't you think the narrative is changing? Yeah. So can I take you on that? All right.
Wait, let me land. You are saying that there are places where we spend extravagantly on in this country that should be checked. I agree with you. We should also check with INEC.
Well, I think network is all right. Please, if you're there, go on. Hello? Something, did you get what he was trying to say?
Yeah, I understand what he's trying to say, that the apathy the electorates are also showing towards various elections, be it local government or state, or even the presidential, like general elections, also should be addressed. But I would also like to take him on that, okay, that apathy is a reaction to an action, and the action is that the people think their votes will not count. Again, let's address the gap in between the action and the reaction.
All right, okay, please. Yeah, if we can.
Okay, yes, we can.
You're saying something.
For how long will people continue to assume and believe that because their votes do not or did not count in previous elections, so they should stay away from election? For how long are we going to continue? See, I want to believe that, in fact, the fact that you are aggrieved on a particular matter should even fuel your energy to now say, I must see to the end of this issue.
But the narrative is changing. We have more people now very interested in getting their PVC. We saw what happened in Tafara Balewa Square. We saw what happened. A lot of people closed their shop, Alaba Market, to go to get their PVC. People are more interested than before. Or don't you think so?
It's not reflecting in the figures. It's not reflecting in the figures. Take Ekiti, for example. There is a decline in the number of persons who came out to vote in the year before, that is 2018, compared to the persons who came out to vote in this 2022 INEC election, there is a decline in the number. So the fact that you are seeing people at TBS showing interest to register does not translate to them coming out on election day to vote. We are wasting ballot papers. We are wasting financial resources. We are wasting material resources that INEC has put into preparing for elections when voters do not come out to vote. We should equally address some of these issues as well. So we should talk to ourselves as Nigerians that one of the best ways to show grievances or to show that we are aggrieved that our political leaders have not done well is to always ensure that at every election cycle, we come out and vote. Vote those that need to be voted out, then vote in people that need to be voted in. Then they can now begin to see that there is strength in the in numbers of Nigerians, and our force can always be reckoned with.
Okay, it's beautiful to say,
I hope you got that.
Yes, I did. It's okay to say people should, channel their grievances towards, the polls in terms of turning out in record numbers. Yes, can you hear me? Hello?
Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. It's okay to say, folks should channel their grievances towards, the election day and turn out in record numbers to vote. But you also need to address the issue of, the apathy. What caused it? It's the mistrust. Now, I understand the place of, the fact that things didn't work out in time past as you wanted or they wanted, that doesn't mean they should sit back. But that those who think that the process is still same of the same, that there are no changes to ensure that there's, that mutual trust between the people and, INEC and the government in terms of ensuring elections are credible, that those who you would hear from the streets that will tell you, oh, my vote will not count, is it not the same election that they will rig and all of that? So looking at the Electoral Act now of 2022, do you think that it is a, indication or an indicator that we're having a better electoral process in Nigeria that would enable, that apathy of voters to be reduced to its barest minimum?
Improving on our electoral system in Nigeria.
Okay.
And there is still room for improvement. Now, the stage that we are now wasn't where we were some years ago. So it simply means that we are moving forward. There is significant progress, even though it may not be that a speedy one, but at least we are not crawling again. And so we can only continue to encourage Nigerians to trust the system.